Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to do a quick little update here with my build. I've gotten all my amplifiers and my speakers and everything like that installed. I've got my amps tuned, but I still have a lot of things here that I want to install and make future videos on. And I'll start with my lithium bank, my excess power Yinlong lithium bank. I've equalized them, and they've been sitting, and I finally got some aluminum here that I can make some bus bars with. I still got to get some nuts and stuff. It's just a slow process, guys. I work a lot, and I don't have a whole lot of free time to do much of anything, and so that, you know, it's just something that I can get to do in my spare time. But for you guys that's going to be building these, you want to get some aluminum bars. I mean, you can use copper, but it's a whole lot more expensive, and it doesn't really, you don't really gain much by using copper. But when you use aluminum, make sure you at least get a 1/4 inch thick, yeah, and at least 1.5 inches wide to use for bussing. You know, depending on how well you want to do it, you know, you want to drill your holes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use my micrometer here, and the way it'll work is that you know, you'll put your cells close together like that, all the way together, then use this to measure the distance from the center of one post to the center of another post, yeah, just about like that. You can see that's 2.5 inches, or, well, you can't see, okay, it's 2.5 inches, right? But you also want to make sure that you add some space in between the cells. So, you know, 1/4 inch or even 1/8 inch, you can add that to that 2.5 inches, and that way when you drill the holes out in your bus bars, you'll have enough space in between your cells to do that. Yeah, okay. And the nuts that you need to use, aluminum nuts would work best, but you can use other nuts. Just make sure you don't over tighten them when you put them on. Yeah, okay. So that's the battery. And you know, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to get another bank, because I know I'm going to upgrade my system. I'm going to add 2 more 12s and 5,000 more watts in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and get build an 80 amp hour bank. A 40 amp hour bank will support 5,000 watts on subs, you know, somewhere near the neighborhood of a stock alternator. If you got a higher output alternator, it'll support a little more than that, maybe 7 or 8K. You know, get a couple thousand on your mids and highs, yeah. But I suggest that if you can, go ahead and just build your 80 amp hour bank, you know, and this way you won't have to worry about current draw. Okay, so I got some lights that I'm at some point going to install. I got these off Amazon. It came with a remote, all different kinds of color possibilities and stuff. You know, it plugs into a cigarette lighter and it powers it. You got 4 sets of bars on these. I think they're called Auxito. I got them off Amazon. They wasn't very expensive, and you know, it's not as good as some, I'm sure, but you know, they're better than some also, I'm sure. But I'm going to install them at some future point. Yeah, I got some other stuff here that I'm going to install. I'm going to make videos on. I got a box of relays. They're 4-pin relays, and these, I liked these because they come with a built-in 30 amp fuse, you know, and that really, I mean, that saved me from having to buy more of these fuse packs right here, and this way, you know, it's already got the fuse built in. I'm gonna use these relays to power my amps, to power my fan that I still need to install, yeah, and also my power supplies. I've got a couple power supplies that I'm going to install in my console. I'm going to use the stock power supply that came in my truck. I'm going to use that to power my lights, and then I'm going to have one of these on each side of my console to be able to plug into, you know, to charge devices, phones, and whatnot. I've got some switches here that I'm going to install I'm going to install one of these switches for each of my 3 amps. I'm going to install one of these switches for a fan, and I may install one of these for my lights. I don't know yet, but I'm definitely going to install switches for my amps. I also have a USB outlet that I'm going to hook up. This is a quick charge 3.0. It's a dual outlet, and this particular one came with a fuse already fused. It came with an inline fuse. You can see it there. It's one of those glass tube fuses. I'm going to use this. I also got this from Amazon. Guys, I do most all of my shopping off Amazon, so that you know, it just, I like Amazon shipping policy and customer service much better than I do eBay. However, sometimes I may have to buy something off eBay because Amazon doesn't have it. Alright. I'm also going to wrap my wire. On my wiring, I will have two wires coming off the alternator, 2 0 gauge wires off the alternator to my battery bank for charging purposes. And I'm going to use this to wrap the wire, just give it a better look, but also to help protect it a little better, because I use welding wire. I don't use car audio wire, and I guess the difference between welding wire and car audio wire is car audio wire's jacket or coating or protective sleeve is a little thicker. Yeah, so just for some added protection, I'm going to put that on there. Plus, it'll make it look better. I got some dual amp inputs that I got from Ilk Customs for my Teraamps MD 5000.1. I had to modify these a little bit. The reason I bought Ilk Customs is because the stud on them is longer. Regular ones, I think I got some more here. Yeah, I got some DS18s. The regular ones, if you'll see, the stud on it is not as long. See how the Ilk Customs is longer, so that it will see in my amp inputs better. I can make a better connection, you know. And that's the reason why I got Ilk Customs. But I'm running 2-aught wire, or 4-aught welding wire rather, and so that I had to drill these inputs out to 5/8 to accept the inputs, the wire. Also, I use wire ferrules, which is always a good idea to do. Keep your build cleaner, but also it keeps the stud posts right here, as they twist down in there and you tighten that up, it causes your wire to break off inside of there, thereby decreasing your connection. Yeah, so with a wire ferrule slipping over your wire, it'll keep that from breaking, but also it'll make it a whole lot cleaner. But I had to drill these out to 5/8 to be able to accept this for my wire. So I will be installing those dual amp inputs. The purpose of dual amp inputs, guys, is for a better flow of electricity in and out of your amp. You know, the less harder your amp has to work, the cooler that it'll run. And you know, when you're running more than 2,000 watts, it's naturally going to heat up. So you want more input and output coming through your amp. Okay, this is the purpose of having dual inputs like this. Yeah, all right. I'm also going to install a couple voltmeters. I bought this Stinger voltmeter. It's nice. It's blue. It matches the color of my system and every other thing. I'm going to install that. And then I got one that was free from Down for Sound when I ordered my mids and highs. I bought my mids and highs through Down for Sound, and so JP sent me a free voltmeter, which is kind of cool. So that'll give me 2. I'm going to wire one of them up to my alternator, and then I'm going to wire another one up to my fuse block, so that, you know, I'm just kind of monitoring the voltage. I've also got a temperature sensor, and this one's pretty cool. It's got the strobe on it. It plugs in to the back of this module. Yeah, I bought this one for $14, guys. And you know, Steve Meade sells these very same kinds of tools for $114, and this one does the same thing that his does. You know, it measures the temperature of your whatever you got it hooked to. Me, I'm going to do it from my Teraamps amp, my 5K amp, and then you can set it and program it by those 2 buttons right there. You can program it to turn on at a set temperature. Yeah, okay. And that's the same thing that Steve Meade's is, and this one's $14, and Steve Meade's is $114. Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. I ain't got nothing against Steve Meade. I just, you know, I'm not trying to spend as much money on the small things like that, so that I might have more money to spend, you know, on my equipment. Yeah. Let's see. And the final thing that I have to install, well, not install, but do, is I'm going to use this RTA Mike. Yeah, this is a plug-in mic. It's a Dayton Audio. Plugs into a device. Me, I'm going to plug it into my cell phone. I've already downloaded the app and the software that I need to be able to do this, but I'm going to use this RTA mic to tune my system. You know, this is what you use to flatten the tones in your system through your graphic equalizer. My head unit is a Sony MEX BT, or excuse me, a Sony MEX XB120 Bluetooth, and so that it's got a 10-band graphic equalizer. And once I'm ready to do that, I will tune the head unit to get my signal as flat as possible, because I really love to play it loud, guys. I can't turn it down. Yeah. All right. So that's everything else that I have left to install. So far as right now at this moment, anyway. You know, my system. My system is a daily driver, so that you know, it's not really built for competition or anything like that. It's just, you know, what I like to listen to. I run a sealed enclosure because, you know, I like the way it reproduces the sound. I like the transient response. I like all my bass to sound like what it's meant to sound like, because when you port the box, it just seems like everything you play sounds the same as whatever your port is, and so that I like a sealed enclosure. But I do have an idea for a future build that I might do. It will probably be some time away. I've already spent near $4,000 in the build that I currently have, and there is some things that I got to take care of first. But I'm hoping to build maybe in my Jeep. I would like to think maybe 8 Orion HCCA 15s, and I'm gonna put a 12K amp on them. Or wait a minute, no. 10, I'm sorry, 20K amp. I was thinking my first was a Ford HCCA 15, so I was going to put a 12K amp on it. But of course, if I go 8, I'll have to put 2 12K amps on it, which means I'll have to have a whole lot more battery power. But that's neither here nor now. That would be sometime way in the future. I just wanted to do a little update on some of the things that I have left to do, guys. I didn't really notice that maybe there was actually a few people, you know, looking at the channel, and so that I thought I might bring this as an update to maybe some of you would like to you know, install some of these kinds of things in your vehicle. If you hit me in the comments, and you know, maybe something that you've seen is something that you want to install, and you put that in the comments, I may go ahead and install that first. You know, anything to try to help somebody. I've received a lot of help through watching tutorial videos, basically, or how-to videos on YouTube, and I just, you know, I thought, wow, what a way to share experience and help other people, you know, help themselves. Yes. And so that, yeah, if you see something here that you're going to install, just put it in the comments and I'll hit it up. All right, guys, that's all I got for now. You gotta take it easy and have a good one. Later.